Okay, we're on. So I'm here today with Tech Police Tuck and Slinky, and we're doing a little interview after court. We just had court. So, Tech, can you go ahead and give us an update of what happened in court today?
Okay, yeah, real basically,
With 37 and granddaughter.
yeah, it's a pretrial hearing, and so they just continued the trial's on the 13th, so they just put the pretrial to talk about the stuff on the 12th, so that's really what's happening today. But what's happening overall, this is just the incident when I was arrested at the Sausage Deli. So that's what this is about. So
All stems back to the Sausage Deli arrest?
correct.
Okay,
Correct.
okay.
So that's what this case is about. Then on the 17th, because this will be on the 13th, is this trial, and I will be able to report it. I'm supposed to be recording
We
this
don't know
one.
yet. He hasn't
Yeah,
ruled.
he ain't ruled yet,
Put that off.
but the attorney said that it's in our favor. That the
Did
way
he
the
say-
rule's written, they should allow it.
So is that what he was? I couldn't hear that good up there.
The way the rule is written, we should be allowed to do what we're doing right now.
Exactly.
That sign over there says,
Yes, but these guys don't go by the rules. That's the problem. We have to follow 122.1, but they make up their own rules.
Which we are right now.
Yes, and to illustrate that, these are the two things that I was given for evidence. Okay, and what this is this is the
administrative.
this is the administrative order that says that you can't do it at all. This administrative order is absolutely illegal.
No, it's contrary to the Supreme
Yeah,
Court rule.
rule.
There's-
Yeah.
It's contrary to the
It's contrary to
Supreme
Supreme
Court
Court Rule
rule. It's not illegal.
122.1.
And which Supreme Court ruling are we speaking
We're
of?
talking about the Arizona Supreme Court of Arizona, the top court in Arizona.
In Arizona has
makes
ruled.
that rule and says where you can and can't record. This court has decided to say no recording. Right now, currently, we're recording this to absolutely flagrantly break that rule.
Breaking the rule.
It's their
Right.
rule.
But it ain't break.
But it's not breaking the law.
120.
It's breaking the rule, but not breaking the law.
And it's not even breaking
To be more
122.
clear, 122.1 is
Yeah.
a Supreme Court rule. It is not a law. Okay, when you say breaking a law, you're more than likely referring to the codes that are in the 13. Section 13 is, like trespassing, burglary. Those are all in the criminal code. You find them in one section. That's what you mean when you... This is not breaking any of those laws. Your filming is not against the law in any way. Okay? It's not a big distinction, but it is.
It
an
is a
important
distinction, though.
one.
Absolutely.
This is a Supreme Court rule.
And by the way, first things first, we both give you consent to record.
Record.
Oh, thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for that. I sure appreciate that. That way I'm not going to be arrested and hog tied up.
Right.
They'll be flying me out today.
So that's where it all really starts, and he's right. This sign over here that says you can't do this, absolutely contrary to the Supreme Court rule and the rule that does come out of the highest court. But it's not breaking the law.
Yep.
And
And
it's not
this is what we
violating
was
it.
doing on May 30th,
It started the
2018, that started it all. We was just recording each other, then they surrounded us.
Just exactly
Then,
like this.
Like this. This is how it
wasn't
all
in this
started.
place, Just in the other room,
in
right over there.
room
Okay.
104, right over there, 20 feet away or so.
So is where it all went down.
Yes,
Right.
where it all went
But
down.
we're doing just
And then,
this.
so we're talking about the signs that are right over here. Oh, because of the people. Okay. We're going to try and get the signs, so
Yeah,
hopefully
there's
they'll
people
move.
there.
Good looking out, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and then when is our next court date then? The 12th of September will be the hearing to see if you can record, is that correct?
That's correct.
That'll be right before the trial.
Oh,
Because the
that's-
attorney was gone, so instead of having that result now, they're going to have a quick hearing on that on the day before the trial and decide that, and I guess a couple other issues. I don't know.
Yeah, it's about the filming and then about the evidence that they're trying to say, like last time, they're trying to say that the videos that we give them were just clips. This was a very short thing.
Oh, I
So-
remember that they
Yes.
brought it up, and you said that is all we
Yeah,
had.
That's all there is,
And they're-
all the testimony will. Because right after that, I went over to talk to 2 Air Force officers, and then so I wasn't filming everything in there, and I didn't dream in any that was ever going to happen. I was going to get charged for what happened in Sausage Deli. I didn't find that out till 2 weeks later,
Right.
and I would have never known that they would turn me sitting eating at the Sausage Deli into a crime.
It's
You know,
ridiculous.
two
And the
counts
one
of-
that gets me is the contributing to the delinquency of a minor.
And that's
Because
what-
the woman had a little girl with her, somehow he contributed to the delinquency
Oh my God.
of
I
that
think it's
child.
when, I
That
think
is
it's when
overcharging
I was buying a kid a beer.
prostitution.
I was buying a kid a beer at the bar.
Yeah, that's what it makes it sound like. Yeah, drinking with a kid. Oh
There
my
was no
God.
alcohol being even served there. It was a
Yeah,
sausage
actually they
deli.
have alcohol there, but
Oh,
I
that's
wasn't.
right.
But I wasn't buying
Buying
the kid
her
a beer.
one.
You're right. Didn't buy any minors.
Hey, kitty.
Yeah, who's going to do that?
Anyway,
Exactly.
So there was 3 charges.
Can I go ahead now?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you the sign that they're talking about. This is the one is in disagreement with the Supreme Court ruling. So that's the sign we're
Totally
talking
contrary.
about.
Totally contrary to the rule.
Very contrary
The
to the
rule
rule.
does not. This rule, in fact, this rule, he's got it right here. That sign says no recording, and this
And this
says.
is-
This
recording
says,
are permitted.
this rule allows the use of recording devices in a courtroom subject to specified requirements and limitations. A court that must use reasonable means to inform the public of the provisions of this rule. Well, this rule says we can do it, and they're informing us that this rule says we
So they're
can't.
contradicting each other themselves right off the
Yeah, they're
bat.
just ignoring the Supreme Court. We're saying it means something. What they did is they said, well, the
Yes.
Supreme Court rule.
And aren't they here to enforce law instead of just like
They see
policy?
them.
Here's the 3 things that are submitted into evidence in my harassment trial. This I submitted to 122. This is what they 2 submitted. All 3 of these contradict each other. This thing here says that you have to get written permission from the person and then submit it to your masters and get judicial permission. Okay, right on here, right in here in this ruling, it says I am not required to get judicial commission. I won
That
on
was
this
a ruling on another
on
case.
Mudcap. And
It's a
another-
case that they cite because he lost in one thing, but the one thing
But
he did win
is
was
that
the
piece
court
of it.
said he's
Yes.
right about what the rule says.
Yes. So what it says is I only have to get permission from the person I'm recording.
You only,
Express
yeah,
consent.
and that's why I have
That's all,
permission
not
from you
written.
guys to
Right.
record.
To record,
Just
that's
express
correct.
consent. And there's Sherman right there. So he's gonna, so anyway, all you have to do is give express consent, which means just you saying, okay, you can record me. You know?
Right on.
So
Now the other one,
Now they're saying
Rule 122.1, it starts out, first sentence, and says, this rule specifies the permitted and prohibited uses of portable electronic devices in a courthouse, and a court must make reasonable accommodations. So this rule clearly also says that it is permitted to use these portable
Recording
devices.
devices.
And here's the rule that says where you can. And this rule says you just have to have our permission.
Interesting how they're trying to interpret it the way they want to
right,
interpret it.
Exactly.
And like I
That's
said,
what it's about.
And we won on that on this point. It says no, you don't got to get judicial permission. And now they're right back that you have to with this. This only doesn't give you judicial permission. It gets you getting written consent for the person. Then you have to put it 2 days in advance. You know the rules, and we have to go through that and see what the process is. Then they come back 2 days later and give you permission or not, or whatever.
So, by the way, we didn't do any of those things today. Just so you know,
Yeah, by the
willfully
rule.
disobedient.
By the rule 122, you don't have to
Do any of
but
that.
but they don't care. They don't go by 122. Even in 122, it says they can't make any rule that's inconsistent with 122. It says right here that
Right.
no administrative order can be put in place that that's
That
not
is contradictory.
contradictory to
Or
To-
is inconsistent with
122.
122.
I would read it exactly
and
my
they're
classes.
supposed to put a sign out there that tells us where we can record, not that we can't record.
Right, and instead that's what they choose to do.
They're supposed to put a
So they're
sign. They're supposed to.
Yeah, I went to Compton. I was in Compton and audited. It's a 13-floor building. They have signs saying you can record anywhere except the 10th floor, and apparently that is the psych stuff that, which for HIPAA violation. Which,
with kids and
and
stuff.
yeah, but Stockton has it right. Even Stockton, California, had it correct, and these motherfuckers they want to interpret it like the Wild Wild West. Whatever the hell they want to do
Well,
goes.
they're totally
They don't
contrary.
They don't.
And their opening statement says that I blatantly break the law when they are.
They're the criminals. They're the ones who break the laws constantly. Think they're above it.
My opening statement, I waived so I get to start with my opening statement. So that's one thing. I get to go over all that lies that he said in his opening statement, and the whole thing's a lie. It even has a wrong date. It says that I started January 9th, 2018 is when the first time I came in and did all this. I didn't do it until May 2nd. Until Anthony,
so even have that.
Anthony didn't even have his license taken away on January. So all their stuff was
inconsistent. All of it is inconsistent.
But what difference does it make if you started in January or May? You're not starting anything that's illegal.
Exactly. Yeah, they're making a big deal of our starting date of nothing.
Oh no, what they want to do is that he's a repeat offender.
Yeah. The point is though, his opening statement was all a bunch of lies. The whole opening statement from start to finish. And he did mention 3 or 4 times in the opening statement about getting me to comply with this. We just want Mark Brown to comply with 122 and this. Well, they're both contradicting each other.
Yeah, so which one is it?
You really can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can't really.
Well, that's like too when they come up to you and they're like, "Put your hands behind your back, walk backwards, lay down, stick your leg up." I mean, it's like, which one do you fucking want me to do? You know, and if I don't do it, are you gonna freaking shoot me? You know, it's hard to comply with them. Yeah, there's no question about that. Like, hell yeah, right in your mouth.
Right there, room 2 is where. Don't put it over there.
Okay.
Right there, room 2 is where all this happened on the 24th. Okay.
Right.
So on the 24th, remember, Sherman, who's right there, came up to Sherman and never said he was under arrest. The whole time, he never says he's under arrest. He just starts molesting him. He gives them orders like stand up, sit down, them type of things.
Yep.
You know?
Kick your leg up, stand on your head.
Get over here. Come on, I got something for you. Get out of here.
Sit, stay. Yeah.
So we can kill you.
Pull my pork.
Oh, did
Just
you
kidding.
see where the police union in New York City has all got together and called for the resignation of the commissioner who followed the judge's ruling and that guy that applied the chokehold that said,
I saw that. Yeah.
No, that's the minimal that should have happened to that.
Oh,
That's
absolutely. That was murder. That was murder.
The rules said you don't use cheek chokeholds. You're not supposed to do them, and it's obvious you shouldn't do them. He did it, and he did it after the guy was screaming, "I can't breathe." And the union is calling for the resignation of the commissioner because he followed the ruling of the judge who said he should be fired and fired him. You know, so the guy loses his pension. Oh, boo-hoo, he killed a man. He killed a man. And he should have been prosecuted for that, much less fired. But
Absolutely.
I love the call of the police department.
They all get off. I mean, very rarely
even
do you find one.
Even these officers that do all this, they're not, you know, we're suing them. We may or may not win, but none of them have been reprimanded or told that they need to stop that. In fact, I think they get little stars for it. Oh, you roughed up 3 people.
Exactly.
1 star for you.
Yeah, there you go.
And
You're gonna get a promotion, and you're on the good boy list, the good old boy list, I should say. Yeah, the good old boy is still alive and well.
They came to serve Sherman here, and they said he don't do this no more. And I walked in
And now
today,
he's
so-
here.
Yeah.
Right.
Liars.
Yeah, they're
All right. Well, so we're going to go ahead and wrap this up here. I wanted to take a little time and get.
fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Thank you,
Feeling like a
Slinky. Thank you,
criminal.
Tuck. And thank you all for listening in. I'm going to go ahead and sign off for Tuck, and he'll be putting this up soon. Tucson Lori, over and out.